We're up to the Halacha Yomi, page 289, Halacha 57. After reciting bracha and besamim, a person should say bracha borei morei ha'esh, on fire, with the cup of wine in one's left hand. You have to hold the cup still. Just like we said by besamim, you have to hold the cup. So too by Havdala, morei ha'esh, you also have to hold the cup in your left hand, and the morei ha'esh in the fire in right hand. Only after benefiting from the light of the fire, then you should switch the cup back to your right hand. You're allowed to say the bracha even if you already benefited from fire before Shabbat, after Shabbat ended. Let's say a person saw a candle before this candle of Havdala, he still can make bracha on this candle as long as he didn't make the bracha yet. 59. It is preferable to use a torch-like flame with 2 wicks to see the fire better. But even 2 wicks that are put together is also considered a 2-wick candle. However, if you do not have 2-wick candle, you could still use a 1-wick candle. 60. It's better to use a wax candle rather than wicks and oil because it won't spill and it's easier to come close to. And also 62. 61. When it's proper to have a candle set aside and used for Havdalah purposes. Some people, they use a candle for multiple things. You should have a candle set aside just for Havdalah. 62. One who does not have a fire to say the bracha on does not have to delay Havdalah. Let's say you didn't have a candle. The candle for Havdalah broke or it's finished and we don't have a new one. So what do? We don't do Havdalah? No, you do Havdalah without the candle. You skip that part. And later, if you find a candle later, then you could do the Borei Esh later that night. 63. One may recite the bracha on fire even after Alot Shahar, as long as it's dark outside and you still benefit from the fire. 64. One who doesn't have wine should still say the brachot of Morei Ha'esh and Besamim Motzei Shabbat. So let's say you don't have wine for Havdalah, so you don't do Havdalah, but you could still do Morei Ha'esh, or you could still do Besamim, even if you don't have wine. Okay. 65. Women are obligated just like men in the brachot of fire on Motzei Shabbat, so they have to do Morei Ha'esh as well. A person who's blind also has to say Borei Morei Ha'esh. Is not obligated to say Borei Morei Ha'esh. He's not allowed to. However, a person who's sensitive to the light could say the bracha because he still benefits. He still sees something, even though he doesn't say clearly. He still sees something. 67. It's customary to look at one's nails and palms with the light of the Havdalah fire. According to Kabbalah, one should close the right hand with the fingers over the thumb. Tuck the thumb inside and look at the reflection of the fire in the person's nails. That's considered benefiting from the light. Now, what's the reason for this custom? If you've seen the footnote over here, some say it's in order to benefit from the light. Seeing your reflection of the nails shows that you were close enough to the fire to distinguish between your skin and nail. So that means you benefited from the light. Number 2, some people have the custom to close their hands and then open them. To show them when their hands closed, there's darkness, and then to open it, we benefit from the light. And then you can see your palm. And some say, number 3, some say we should look at our nails because Adam Rishon, his entire body used to be covered in nail. After that was the outer layer of skin he had, but then after he did the Cheta Etadat, right, the sin of the eating from the tree of knowledge, he lost that skin and he only stayed on the fingernails. And Motzei Shabbat, when he discovered light, we want to remember our potential and where we used to be, so we will go and look at the nails. And also 4, they say that fingernails are constantly growing. And at the beginning of the week, we want also our week to be that way, to constantly be growing. Okay, 68. One may not recite bracha on the fire until you're close enough to benefit from the light. Now you can tell the difference between 2 different types of coins, which means that you can't, let's say the guy's across the room. The guy who's doing Havdalah, he's across the room, and he says Borei Ha'esh, and you go from here. Wi-Fi, from long distance. It doesn't work like that. You have to come close to the fire to do Borei Morei Ha'esh. Even if you didn't see the reflection of the light on your own fingernails, one fulfilled the obligation as long as you were close enough that he could benefit from the light. Also, that's why a lot of people turn off the lights during the Havdalah. That way they can benefit from the fire of the candle. 69. According to some opinions, one should bring his hand close to the fire before reciting the bracha. Others say, no, you should only bring your hand close after you say the bracha. It's preferable to do both opinions and to look at one's nails before the bracha and also after the bracha to fulfill either opinion. 70. One does not have to turn off the lights in the room to benefit from the Havdalah candle. It's enough that you put your hand close, but a lot of people do it in order to make it easier. 71. A woman may hold the Havdala candle even for her husband during when she's nida. 72. A fire that was lit on Shabbat, even by a goy, may not be used for Havdala Motzei Shabbat. However, if the fire was lit in a permitted way because of, let's say, cholesh sheyesh bo sakana, for someone who was sickly, was dangerously ill, then you're allowed to use the Motzei Shabbat for Havdala. Because why do we not allowed to use a fire that was running the whole Shabbat, Ner Shabbat? Because you need Motzei Shabbat, Adam Rishon discovered the fire, so you need a new fire, Motzei Shabbat. But if it was turned on Shabbat because of choleh, so that was a permitted fire, so then you're allowed to use it. 73. One may not recite a bracha on a fire that was lit for the purpose of giving kavod to somebody. Like, let's say, kavod for Bet Knesset. Ashkenazim, they light candles for Bet Knesset, right? Or let's say they had a ner neshama, they lit for somebody a candle for someone who passed away. You cannot use those candles for moreh ha'esh. Question is, can you use a light bulb? Can you use something, a lantern, right? One may not recite a bracha. 74. One may not recite a bracha on a flame that's covered by a glass. Let's say you have a fire and covered by glass. However, if the flame is out in the open and you only see it through a window, or you're wearing glasses, so then now you're allowed to say, because the actual fire is not covered. Let's say I see the fire only through a window. There's a window between me and the fire. Or let's say I'm wearing glasses and I only see the fire through my glasses. It's glass. So that's all permitted, but if the fire is covered completely, that's where it's asur. Okay, what about light bulb? So because of this, the fire is covered in a light bulb. So you can't, even if you have an incandescent light bulb that has a fire, it's still going to be asur to make a bracha. It's a mahloket, but we say safek brachot le'akel. 75. One may not recite a bracha on the light of a star, even though it consists of fire. 76. It is permitted to say bracha on a gahelet, on a coal that's red hot, right? Because as long as it was lit for the sake of the fire and not for the sake of cooking. 77. If you don't have a what? Yeah, if you turn on a coal, well, no, it's red hot. It's red hot. It's on fire. It's on fire. No, only if it's hot. Only if it's red hot. Glowing. It has to be glowing. It cannot be just gray, hot. It has to be glowing. In the beginning, it's glowing. Oh, that's what I'm about to say. 77. If one does not have a candle, you can turn on the gas stovetop for the purpose of Havdala, and then you can say bracha on the fire. This is what L'Chabura writes in the Chelek Yud Het. 78. After Havdala, you're allowed to use the flame from the candle for mundane purposes. A guy says, wait. Right after Havdala, what do people do? They light cigarette right after Havdala. He says, no, don't turn off the fire. Let me use the fire for a cigarette. So he says, after Havdala, you're allowed to use the flame for the candle for mundane purposes. You're allowed. 79. Preferably, one should wrap the candle that was used for Havdala in a plastic bag before you throw it in the garbage. Just like Besamim, when it's finished, since it was used for mitzvah, you shouldn't throw it straight in the garbage. You should use it you should put it away with kavod. Okay, we'll stop over here.